What is going on, lads? And today we're here with the second episode of the object building tutorial for the simulator openBVE. Now if you remember where we finished last time, we have managed to build this black square just to show you some basic commands and to show you how it looks visually when you actually create something, just to make it not pure theory but also to get some practice. Now, from the last time I made a couple of improvements, so you can finally see my mouse here, and when I'm clicking you should actually see the clicks, so let's hope that makes it more clear for everyone. Let me just repeat what we've learned last time. So the create mesh builder, that's just the initialization command for the graphic render of the game. We have to introduce it every time we are going to create something like this or like something else that we'll learn later. Basically it initiates, I'm sorry about my pronunciation, but being not a native speaker is a pain in the lower back sometimes, if you know what I mean. So it basically starts the graphic render of the engine of the game and prepares it for that. We're going to send some commands and we want to display something. So by these commands, the simplest ones are these add vertices, where we have learned that add vertex has three parameters. One of them is the x coordinate, which is the red axis. The other one is the y coordinate, which is the green axis here, and the third one is the z coordinate, which is the blue one here. We haven't really used the z coordinate, as you can see it's always 0 because we were only creating a 2D object. So this black square here, the coordinates of this point are 0, 0, 0 because it's the intersection of all three axes, and like I said last time, these axes divide the space, so whatever is in this quadrant will always be positive, whatever is in this, and that's what we're going to use for now. We're not going to touch negative values for now, but we'll get there eventually. Today I would like to make some things clear about that AddFace command. One of you guys in the forums has actually mentioned that the AddFace, the indexes of the vertices have to be put in clockwise order. Well, that's true if we want the front face of the created rectangle to be displayed. Let me now show you what it does if we swap these out. We basically put them in the reversed order, so we keep all the commands in place, we just save, and now we press reload. As you can see, the rectangle has disappeared. Well, it has not entirely disappeared. The thing is that when you put the vertex indexes in the reversed order, that means counterclockwise, it will actually show you the backside of the created object. So there you go. As you can see, the object is still there, however it is displayed from the back side, so you cannot, whenever you load an object in the object viewer, it is always displayed from front, which is here. That's why you cannot see the rectangle right now. And basically what this reversed order of indexes does is that it's showing the back side of the object, which is not what we want really, because whenever we want to create something, we want to see it like how it will look from the front side when we put it in the simulator. So that's why I would suggest using this order only, and only use the reversed order in special cases that we will be talking about today. So as you can see, I have rewritten the indexes back to the original order, and I'm now going to save and reload the object. So our rectangle is back. Now there's two possibilities for you, if you eventually needed it, to show that black rectangle from both sides. First of them, which I do not suggest, which I do not use personally, and I will tell you why later on, and I do not suggest it for being used, is that you simply put AddFace 2. So you put AddFace 2 and you keep the original order of the vertex indexes, these things. Now what this will do is that if you save the object and try to reload it, you can actually see that it's still here from the front side. We're looking from the front side. Now let me just refresh it. So this is the front side, and what AddFace 2 does, it basically shows both sides of the object. However, this way of displaying the object from both sides is not correct, because what AddFace 2 does, it basically copies all the properties from the front side to the back side. So on the first look it's looking good, but when you're actually using it in the sim itself, it's not only the black rectangle it's copied, it's also all the lighting vertex, or the all the lighting vectors, and therefore in real life you would assume that the sun is shining either from one side or the other. This way, those two sides, the front and the back here, would either be both light with lots of sunshine, or both dark with no sunshine at all. I mean, you can use it when it's a dull day, but if you're creating a sunny route, like a route in sunny weather, it's basically of no use to you, because it won't look realistic. So a better way of displaying both sides of the object is not to put this 2 here. Let's just disregard that. I'll delete it now. It's better to actually copy this command here and put it one more time without those nodes. Obviously they are going to be the same, and you put it separately like this. So you put AddFace 0, 1, 2, 3 in the clockwise order, which is what we can see here from the front side, and you put another one with the counterclockwise order, which will also show you the back side, but this way the back side will have its own light vectors, so it will look more realistic in the sim itself. As you can see, both sides are still there, and that means the command, or the AddFace, both AddFaces are actually working. So that's what we have sorted regarding the note or feedback that I have received from you guys. Also, an important thing probably is, as you probably know, the notepad usually saves files in text format. So what you need to do if you want to save it as a CSV file or B3D file, you have to put, this is save as in Czech, so you put save as, you put the title here, you have to swap to all files, and then you have to put it like this. You have to write it including the extension. So you put it like this and you put save. I do already have that file on my desktop, so I'm getting a pop-up here, but I can overwrite it easily because it's the same file, and it will be saved in the CSV format that we need. So so far we've got a black rectangle that's for now displayed from both sides. It's still a 2D object, as you can see, and therefore we'd probably like to make it 3D today, won't we? So we'll try to create the top side of the rectangle, or what will later be a cube. So we can use basically the same commands. However, we have to employ our spatial imagination here, because like I said in the last video, I'm always starting with the left bottom corner, but as you can see, this side here will actually be horizontal. So which one is the left bottom corner, right? What we need to do in this case is we need to imagine the cube as if it was flipped by 90 degrees towards us. So that means this is the normal view, and we would have to flip it like this. Okay, it's getting a bit, it's not exactly straightforward, but we can use it like this. So right now we're going to create a 3D object. It will be a very simple one, but it will show you how it works. As you can see, I have copied the commands from the previous side of the cube, but we need to make sure that we put correct vertices or correct coordinates for the vertices here. So we are starting in this corner, which will be the left bottom one. If I flip it, always remember that. And as we've mentioned last time, this corner actually is lying above the x-axis here, but on the y-axis here. So that means the x will be 0, while the y will be 1, and z will be 0. I'll probably just go and delete that to make it less confusing for you. So let's type it from the scratch. We put AddVertex here. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. This, and we're putting AddVertex here, starting with the actual top left corner of the previous cube, but it's a bottom left corner here for us. So this corner right here is on the x, like it's above the x, but wide-wise we're not going anywhere, so it's 0. Height-wise we're already 1 meter up because we're starting here, so that's 1. And z-wise it's not going anywhere further, so it's 0. Now we are moving to the left top corner of the other side of the cube, and this is where it's getting a bit tricky. We have to realize that we're actually remaining, when it comes to the width of the object, we're actually still at 0 because we're just going that way behind, right? So we're putting 0 here. We are still 1 meter above the x-axis, so that's gonna be 1. And at this point we are moving 1 meter along the z-axis to make it 3D. So the last one will be 1 here. The third corner or third vertex of this one will be, we're going to the width because we're somewhere here, spatial imagination, right? We're somewhere here, right? So that means we're going 1 meter to the width. We are still 1 meter above above x-axis, so 1 meter in height, and we are still 1 meter along the z-axis here, so this is the z-axis, right? So we are somewhere here. That means we are going deep-wise, so that's 1 meter here. The AddVertex, the last one for this, is going to be actually this top corner, right? Because it will be connected. A cube has the sides connected. So this corner here, we've already used it. It's the fourth corner on the previous one. So we can basically just copy this one. No, I'm sorry, it's this one. It's the third one, because obviously the last one is here. But anyway, we can just copy it, but I'll write it. So we are 1 meter wide-wise, 1 meter height-wise, and we are actually returning from the 1 meter of depth to 0. So that's going to be 0 here. The AddFace for this command remains unchanged, so that means we're going 0, 1, 2, 3 clockwise. And the set color, I'm going to use another color, because if I put it black, you won't be able to see the connection here. So I'm going to use red color, which is 225 of red, 0 of green, and 0 of blue. You should be able to understand these commands here. So let me just save it, and voila, there we go. So this first AddVertex here is 0 meters wide-wise, but 1 meter height-wise, and also 0 meters z-wise, because we're still here at the beginning. This corner right here is 0 meters wide-wise, because as you can see, it's hidden by the y-axis basically. So 0 meters wide-wise, 1 meters height-wise, because it's 1 meter above x-axis, and also 1 meter z-wise, or depth-wise if you want. This third corner right here is 1 meter wide-wise, this is the problem with 2D objects, or with showing only one side. 1 meter height-wise, and also 1 meter z-wise. And this fourth corner here is 1 meter wide-wise, 1 meter height wise, but 0 meters depth wise. So there we go, we've got the two faces of our cube. And to make it more clear, because from this side I can only see the front, I cannot see the top of the cube, I can only see the front from this side. So to make it more clear, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the thing that I've shown you a little while ago. So that means we're going to write AddFace, and we're going to put the vertices in the counterclockwise order. That means if I save it, I'll be able to see it from the top of the cube from under. And that reminds me, I can actually show you on this example of the red top of the cube the lightning issue I was talking about. So take a look here. This one is basically light, it's shiny red, right? And this one it's dark red because it's weaved from the under, and we're assuming that the light is coming from the top. So that means this side right here is being light from the sun, let's say, and this side right here is in the shadow. Now we have learned the nodes in the last session. So what I'm going to do now is I will put this as a note. That basically means the simulator or the renderer will omit this command here. It's not gonna be used. It is still there, but it's not gonna be used because there's a semicolon in front of it right here. And I'm going to show you what the AddFace 2 will do to this cube. So we've put AddFace 2 instead of separate faces, and I'm going to, I've saved it already, and I'm going to reload the object. So we've got the light here and the light here. There's no shadow, as you can see. It's both as if it was exposed to the sun. Now from this view I'm going to use to demonstrate the shadow again. If I delete these two here, so it's gonna be a regular AddFace, and I'm going to delete this this semicolon so that the command will be used again. I'm going to save it, and as you can see, it is in shadow again. So therefore I suggest putting your faces separately like this. Right, so we've got basically our first 3D object, if it can be called so. I know it's not of so much use for now, but in the next session we're probably going to take a look at textures, and we'll see how to apply them to the object, and that's where these indexes and this AddFace with the clockwise order will become even more important. Also, it will all come to how well you define your add vertices, what's the order of them, and how well you connect them with the AddFace and with the textures. That's why I've told you I'm always starting my object or my face of an object with a bottom left corner. I will show you why that is when we're coming to the textures. You'll see how important it is then. Right, so I'm guessing that's it for today. I've bored you for long enough. Hopefully it was not that boring, but anyway, and I'll see you again in the next video.